Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Mac. This is a weekly show which covers everything from the world of Star Citizen over the past week. Links to everything discussed can be found in the description below, so let's get on with it. So, before we start, as part of my Patreon rewards, I give away a $25 Star Citizen gift card to a patron pledging $5 or more. This month's winner is Kyle, so well done sir, I will be in touch. A big thank you to all of my patrons, as your pledges really help me get videos like this out to you all. If you are interested in helping me out via a monthly donation from as little as $1, follow the link in the description. This week, 2.4 goes out to the NDA group. We hear more regarding procedural planets, plus we get a quick look at the Javelin escape pods. If you are still to sign up to the RSI website, please use my referral code as shown on screen or in the description, and you'll receive 5,000 United Earth credits which can be spent in the Voyager Direct store for your ships, your character, or whatever you choose. You don't have to spend anything to sign up. It's only once you pledge that I'll be granted an RP point, which will get me some little rewards in the future. So, with Chris Roberts travelling to the various game studios, the 10 for the developers this week was with Sean Tracy and Forrest Stefan. First question being, if we mine on a planet, is the planet permanently altered, or would that location regenerate so you can keep going back? Now, when it comes to planets, they say they are generated from a seed, but once that planet is created, it persists. The planet is going to be generated once, and then everyone will see the same thing. When it comes to mining, you will be mining an object on top of the planet rather than the planet itself. So for example, a block of ice, you'll mine water from the ice and then the ice disappears. The question then is, will the ice regenerate? They say there's no reason why it won't. They want to control the commodities though, so they can keep track for the economic side of things. So next question is there any new animations or physics effects being worked on? And they say they are constantly working on zero-G driven ragdoll. This is the transitions between animation and driven ragdoll, plus going through physics grids. They say it's very challenging, but it's coming along very, very well. And from what I've seen, they're doing a good job on it anyway. So next question. Will planets have variant biomes or weather regions? And can the procedural tech produce flora and fauna at the fidelity close enough to what they are to producing themselves? And when it comes to different biomes, they say, of course, otherwise every planet will just be either a rocky planet or an ice planet. They said that they have some of the best atmosphere tech ever seen. They've solved all kinds of lighting challenges. There's no reason why there won't be varying biomes within a single planet. Now, weather regions are a different story. A lot of this is sort of design aspects to solve. They say that the fidelity of the planets are to a scale that we have never seen before. The problem of moving weather systems, they're not ready to solve yet. So that will be something they will look at, and potentially something they would want to do. There's no reason why they can't do it. It's just a matter of when the time comes to start solving that problem. Now, the way the procedural tech works is that artists create assets which then are used to create these planets. So they want trees that look like Crisis, so absolutely there will be super high fidelity flora, fauna, all these types of things, all up to the same standard as the artists, because they are the ones that are creating it. They did say though that procedural city type planets are very difficult to create, but again, there's no reason why we can't see it. They always get around these hurdles. So, moving on. Have you thought of having spaceships or stations with varying degrees of gravity? Maybe a circular station where the ground continues up the walls, or the spaceship where you can look at people hanging from the ceiling in a way. Are planets going to be enormous localized physics grids, or is there more to them? So they say that they have actually internally been messing with physics grids. So having a circular space station is completely possible. They can shape the physics grid how they want, and they've also messed with mag boots too. So if you wanted to fix something on the outside of your ship, then using mag boots should allow you to get to that point. He says that planets have a lot more to them than just being a huge physics grid. They need to have their own gravity. They say although it uses a similar concept to your ships, it's nothing like when you enter a ship. Gravity needs to be to the center, so it's a lot more complicated than just a big physics grid. But I'm sure they will figure it out. So next question, what sort of navigation can we expect for planets? Will there be maps, GPS, beacons? And they say all of the above. They're working on all this gameplay now. The approach is requiring this as well, so when you land on a planet, it takes about 30 minutes of actual gameplay if they didn't have these sort of nav beacons or nav quantum travel beacons, as we've seen in the landing sequence for procedural planets. They would like it to be manual, but they don't want it to be boring, so they don't want it to take 30 minutes to get down to a planet. But once on a planet, you will need some form of map Even while they're working on these planets, they say they actually need their own nav beacons due to the sheer scale of the planets. So they drop their own beacons so that they can maneuver around safely without getting lost. And that's while they're creating these planets. They've talked a lot about navigation. It'll come down to the first playtest to see what's needed. But this is what's happening now internally. They are doing this, so they're solving the problems now. One of the biggest things they're thinking about is how does the ship flight change when you transition between space and gravity. Plus, how does your in-ship map system change from a 3D space to one with horizon? Ultimately, they say it's got to be fun. So next question, any chance on a female model update? What has caused the hold-up? Now they say it's more on the animation side. They really want a completely finished male first. Once that's done, it's then really simple to just plug the female into it, as it would just be silly to work on both the male and the female at the same time or separately. So they want to get the male done first, and then hooking up to other people, like even the Van Duel as well, will become so much quicker. So once the male is locked down, it's then just really easy, and we'll have the female model. So second to last question, will there be barbershops or places to alter your character's appearance? And they say at the moment they are working a lot on hair. The current hair tech that they have is not up to par with the quality they want. So barbershops, they don't know. You will be modifying your face in a medical surgery to start the game. So I think what happens before you start Squadron 42 is you've been in an accident, or maybe your ship has blown up, you've managed to survive, but you are terribly scarred, so you have a medical surgeon reconstruct your face, and that will be where you decide what you look like. When it comes to barbers and things like that, they reckon so. I can't, in my honest opinion, I can't see why they wouldn't put that in. Maybe face reconstruction, I'm not sure. It would be nice if you get bored of your face, but the problem is your face is your face, and, you know, technically you shouldn't be changing it. But we will see. So last question, how will procedural generation work on planets with large bodies of water or oceans, and how will this affect performance? And all water is shader driven, so it's achievable without killing performance. The oceans in CryEngine look incredible, so expect at least that level of fidelity, if not more. And when they were sort of spitballing about space whales, megafauna, which would be your huge, incredibly huge animals on planets, then yeah, sure, why not? You know, we have one of the Puglisi or Puisi display cabinets with something from, I think it was Ellis 7 or whatever it is, some sort of sea creature. So space whales is definitely a possibility, and that would be very, very cool. Anyway, that was the 10 for the developers. Let me know your thoughts. Space whales for the win. So on this week's ATV, or Around the Verse 2.30, it was Sandy and Jeremiah Lee. The Prospector sale has ended. It was a very popular sale. Also, your 5% off coupons are valid until the end of the month, so do use them before the month ends. So news from Around the Verse, starting with the CIG LA office. They're working on 2.4 now, and they're pushing forwards on alien races. Austin, Texas, they say they are furiously bug fixing 2.4, as we know it has now come to the NDA PTU, so it's very buggy at the moment, which is why it's up to them to sort of bug test it before it comes to the normal PTU for the rest of us. They're also working on port modification for Crusader stuff. They want players to modify their ships with weapons and components. They want to make sure that other players can't modify your ship, and you can only do it when you're landed or on a pad for the first release. They're also working on terminal or kiosk purchasing for larger items, and they are upping the rate of the animation implementation. So Foundry 42 in the UK, focus is on ships for Squadron 42s, so including the Javelin, the Aegis and the Bengal. The Argo, the Reliant and the Starfarer are being tested to be flight ready. As we know, the Starfarer and the Starfarer Gemini will be in 2.4 as flight ready. The Reliant will be hangar ready. They're doing some bug fixing for shopping, so you'll be able to buy flight suits, weapons and casual clothes. They are testing persistence. You will get cash for completing Comare missions. They're also doing a Squadron 42 shoot right now. They're working on the conversation system and just tuning FPS and AI stuff. So Frankfurt, we met a new member, and he has been working on Inner Thought, which is a system used for how you will interact with the world. So after that, we met an associate character artist called Cheyenne Hessler. He helps the character team develop character assets within the game. Currently, he's working on the RSA jetpack, which is pretty cool. This is how you'll move around in space. This will replace your current EVA jets. It'll be more up to date and more sci-fi. So from there, we had the new Lawmaker's Guide to the Galaxy. This week it was Nexus, which was discovered in 2445. It is a 5-planet system with an asteroid belt, a Type A main sequence star, which is blue and white, and it's about 1.8 times larger than our own sun. It has 4 jump points. There has been a bit of a pirate issue, which is still continuing today. It is most known for the Keller's Run in 2930 of a pirate trying to flee the UEE. It is under UEE control, but it's not fully, as there's a heavy pirate presence, so do be careful when you're in there. Highly suggest watching this. It's very informative guide. Anyway, there was 3 MVP winners this week for their Journey to Voltron video. I shall show you that in the background. Very cool. And the ATV Fast Forward was the Javelin Escape Pod, which looks incredible. It's a big ship, so they need a lot of room for these escape pods. Anyway, that was Around the Verse. Do tell me your thoughts. So the information worth taking note in Reverse the Verse is very short this week. As we know, the patch 2.4 went to the NDA PTU, the avocado people, or the group. The Buccaneer concept sale will be later this month. The concept is wrapped up. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. The Schumann mining contest, where you can win an Orion, will be drawn at a later date. Maybe in about a couple of weeks. There's about 30,000 entries. Slight delay, but we'll get to it. It is closed now, so you can no longer enter. In questions and answers, you'll be able to buy Takeitsu models in the verse, but they may have different liveries to the ones that subscribers get. The reworks of the Aurora, the 300 series, the Cutlasses, have not yet begun, as they are still awaiting resources, so they are still to come. The fast forward this week, as we know on Around the Verse, was the Javelin Escape Pod. Very, very cool. Nothing more was really said about this. Next fast forward, for the next 3 fast forwards, I believe, there's going to be 1 to 3 of them. It's to do with the pipe system, which is what allows your ships to function, well, anything to function, really. One of the questions was, can we paint our ships and armour? And they say it's still the plan to do that. They are still building ships, they are still building armour, so they'll know more later once they are complete. Multiplayer hangars are still on the list. Will obviously come after Persistence, but there's no ETA on this. And then finally, there are still lots of jobs with CIG, so do check the link below if you have any skills within game development. You may end up working with Cloud Imperium. Anyway, as I say, very, very short. Not a lot of information there, so let's just move on. So also this week, we had a new Empire report discussing the results of the 2946 senatorial election. Mark is back with Bug Smashers episode 24. The Galactic Guide brought us the Chrono system. And finally, the monthly report is out. I will bring you the facts later next week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, SuperMacBrothers Ryan. For every 50 followers we get up to 2,000, I will be giving away a $10 gift card. It's a lot of fun getting to talk to you all. We have our own private Discord. Do come along and say hello. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.